morning everyone and welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live. It's Sunday, it's not Saturday. I'm a tiny bit late, but I have got a third camera today that I've had to set up in order to do my demo today. So thank you very much for being patient, but good morning, and I really am pleased if you are tuning in and it's Sunday, because normally I am live on Saturday. So I've changed things around a little bit this week. For some people it works really well, because for the ones that don't normally see me on Saturday because they work, get to see me on Sunday. So hopefully it's of some benefit to some of you to be able to watch it live this morning. So we're going to be doing lots more Christmas stuff. It is another packed edition of Let's Shop Cake Live. We're going to be showing you some new bits and pieces, of course, and some repurposed stuff from cutters that we've had last year that I've come up with lots of different ideas. But the main focus today is we are going to be building gingerbread houses. So we're going to be building a gingerbread house live that you can then perhaps put on top of a Christmas cake this year with a little twist on it as well. So you'll have to wait to see what that little twist is as we go along, and lots of different ideas for you. So hopefully it will give you a different perspective on gingerbread houses. So that should be interesting, shouldn't it? I've done it already, so I know it works. It has been a trial run, and there will be a TikTok out later today, so you'll be able to see it in super fast motion later as well. So I have been very well prepared for this, which is completely unusual for me. Loads of you logging in, thank you so much. I can see all your names popping up on the screen now. Do say hello, do say good morning, join in the live. If you want to ask any questions while I'm live, do please let me know. The website address is up there at the moment, which is letsshopcakelive.co.uk. That's where you'll find all of the products that I show you on this program. The ones that are normally at the top are the ones we're doing today, and then everything else will be all the things that I've been covering over the last couple of weeks, including Christmas, etc. So don't forget, of course, we are streaming out of Facebook. We are also streaming on YouTube. So if you can't watch Facebook for whatever reason and you prefer YouTube, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is at Tracey Mann Cakes. Go into the live section and you will find Let's Shop Cake Live streaming there as well. Well, there's loads of you this morning. So obviously Sunday mornings is, well, it's a better morning for most. Normally it's not horizontal at this point, not moving because it's Sunday. But I am up and I am doing this because I was out yesterday. So I'm more than happy to be here this morning with all the bits and pieces that I've been coming up with this week. So for those of you that don't know how this works, normally we talk about my cake school. We go through some bits and pieces there, and then we have a look at all the products and things that we're going to do. And we do lots of live demos, which include all cookie cutters and things that are exclusive to us. So you can't buy them anywhere else. That's very exciting, isn't it? And we have loads and loads of different ideas that aren't really anywhere else. So it gives you lots of different ideas for Christmas. Now I'm just getting ready to plan my live on Tuesday next week. So I'm going to probably do a live next week on my normal Facebook page, if there is such a page, which is at Tracey Mann Cakes. And that's going to be like a big Christmas summary. So it's going to be like an evening of all the bits and pieces that we've done over the last few weeks on Let's Shop. So if you've bought bits and pieces, or you're still thinking you might want to buy bits and pieces, then this will be an evening where I'll be running through the snow globes, I'll be going through the Christmas jumpers, I'll be going through all sorts of bits and pieces that we've been doing on here over the last few weeks. So it will help some of you that are busy with all your bits of Christmas things, that you'll have one video that will show you a little bit of everything. So that's the idea with that anyway. Obviously I won't be building gingerbread houses because that takes too long, but we're going to do that today, so we won't have missed out on that at all. So we are going to be live until round about 12 o'clock today, or as long as it takes me to build this gingerbread house without falling over, and we'll run through some bits and pieces there as well. So a very busy morning ahead. It wouldn't be the same if it wasn't. So sit back and relax, and say, if you do want to go shopping, the site is up in front of you at the moment, letsshopcakelive.co.uk. We're managing quite well at the moment with our post. We have got about 2 outstanding orders at the moment, and the post seems to be moving relatively quickly. So I'm quite pleased about that, because as much as I give all of the usual warnings about the post is this and the post is that, the post actually is much better than it was last year. Last year it was a major disaster. So this year it is not too bad. So all of our post is going out on Royal Mail. It is taking a little bit longer than usual, but it is on its way. So we're having fairly good success with that at the moment. So fingers crossed, if you do place an order, that we will be shipping them out as fast as we possibly can to give the post then the opportunity to get them to you. So we are moving everything as quickly as we can, which is nice, isn't it? We're very efficient this year. and soon I will be lying down recovering from Christmas. We're not quite there yet, but we will get there, so we'll get there eventually. Okay, so we will start with the cake school, so let's go and have a look at the cake school. So we change address for that, we go over to tracymanncakeschool.co.uk. So this is my online cake school, and on this cake school I am mainly doing cake painting, so I teach an awful lot of online cake painting art. I'm going to try and start putting that art word in there, I think, because we've had so many people that have joined recently who are finding just how lovely it is to learn the art of cake painting online and do some beautiful things onto their cakes. And we do have some fantastic students on my cake school. So if you would like to join in the new year, or if you'd like to join leading up to Christmas, the address is on the screen at the moment. Whilst I say that I'm teaching the art of cake painting on there, there is also cupcake bouquets, and we have lots of sugar craft as well, which kind of leads me on to where we're going with the next few classes coming up, and I will show you what those are. So I teach royal icing, I teach airbrushing, all sorts of other bits and pieces as well, but the majority is cake painting because that's what I like to do and it comes out well. But I can't resist a bit of royal icing, you see. Once that royal icing gets going, then I'm afraid I'm gone. I love it. And also the cupcake bouquets as well. In fact, all of it really. In fact, I've only recorded the things I really like, so that narrows it down a little bit. So with the cake school, we've had a couple of people already saying, I want to buy a present for somebody for the cake school, what can I get? So you've kind of got three options really. So option number one is obviously you just buy a class. So if you go onto there and you think, yep, beginner's cocoa butter painting course, that would be actually an excellent one to do after Christmas, because we always have our annual challenge where you get the opportunity to paint it between the 1st of Jan and the 14th of February to get a lovely certificate. So that's a really good one to start with. And if you buy it, you keep it, and that's it. So that's one option for you there. Then of course we do have monthly membership, which is another option. Now if you want to buy that for somebody in its entirety, it does get a little bit more complicated because obviously we need their email address and stuff, but you can still buy a monthly membership if you'd like to, whether it's $12.50 a month or outright at $150. Entirely up to you, but just let me know and I'll do everything I can to help you with that. Or we have gift vouchers. Now the gift vouchers can be used to buy classes outright. They cannot be used against membership because it's too complicated for the system to work it out. Don't ask me, but it is. So if you do buy yourself or somebody a gift voucher, they will be able to redeem it against a class, but not against membership. So there's three different options there for the cake school, and we have loads of different levels of membership. So we have gold membership, which is $12.50 a month, which includes access to everything that I do. It also includes access to Facebook Lives, extra Facebook Lives, me at weddings, mainly that kind of thing. All sorts of different extra content they get. They get access to pre-sale information, so they get access to knowing when things are going to go on sale before everybody else, and lots of other things as well. And they are all in this lovely group together sharing their ideas beautifully. I have to say they are a wonderful group. So that's the $12.50 a month. The next level down is just those that want to cake paint and don't want to do anything else. That's £10 a month. Then underneath that we have our beginners level, which is Tracy's put you on the spot, $6.75 a month I think, which is the bronze level membership, which is the beginners cake painting. Most people, or some people I should say, not most, some start there and then within about 2 weeks go, no, I need gold membership. So it's a bit of a funny one, that one. It kind of sort of puts your foot in the water and then goes, yep, I need more of that. It is very addictive, cake painting, I have to say. There are a lot of people addicted to it now. I don't want any responsibility for that, but it's not a bad thing to be addicted to. So I think that I'm not feeling too guilty about that, because it is actually such a nice thing to do. Then of course we have our Sugarcraft membership, which does include which includes all of our things like royal icing and beginners, which I think now airbrushing, chocolate paste, those kinds of things. And one of the new classes that's coming up on the 15th of December, which I did find a picture for this morning, and that's our party cat cake. So this one is coming on to Sugarcraft membership and gold membership on the 15th of December. So I couldn't read my own writing then. This would be a brilliant cake if you're having a little party for New Year, or if you want to put a little Christmas hat on the cake. It's also, you can customise it. So if you have a white cat or a black cat or something else, a different cat, you can change it to whatever you like. But the principles of the class are there. So you will be able to make that nice cat party cake, which is a lot of fun to make. It's a really lovely little cake to make. It's not too complicated. It's quite nice and simple. So if you would like to have a go at that one, that is coming out on the 15th of December. And again, it is in membership. So it's in Gold and Sugarcraft membership only, or you can buy the class outright. But you will be able to find that class on the address that's on the screen at the moment. Now, we've also got a royal icing class coming out on the 8th of December, which is actually shortly, isn't it? Isn't that next week? Where are we? Must be about the 3rd of December today. So yeah, next week we have got a square royalised anniversary cake coming out as well. And that one is really aimed at the people that already have done some royal icing, but it's a different pattern. It's a different layout. So if you've done royal icing in the past and you've enjoyed it, this is a new project that shows you how to do different patterns. And I'm going to put a picture of that cake up on Let's Shop after we've done the programme today, so that you can have a look at it in detail, because you can't really see it very well like this, whereas if I put a picture up, you'll be able to zoom in and have a look at all my mistakes and details. No, you'll be able to zoom in and have a look at it and see what you think. And that class again will be on Gold and Sugarcraft membership. So 2 new classes coming shortly, and they will be available before the end of the year. And then the year is over, isn't it? It's nearly over, and we'll be looking at going into January. And so we've got to start looking ahead now to sort of things that we're going to be doing in January. And of course, we have got a brand new cake painting course, which I haven't put on the screen yet. I can't even remember if I've told my gold members yet, or it's not on the school yet, but it will be by the end of today, hopefully, because I've done it. We're going to be painting this. There he is. So this is going to be one of my new cake painting classes for January. This is a cockapoo. I think lots of you will be very familiar with this dog, and he is going to be part of my new classes coming in 2024. I'm already quite a bit ahead of 2024. January is normally a key filming time for me, so that's when I really start to get to grips with everything we're going to do this year. But he is ready to go, and he is going to be available in January. He is a really lovely, lovely dog to do, and so many people have them. They are literally everywhere. So I thought, why not? Let's start with a dog. Let's start with something that loads and loads of people really like. So there he is. We're going to be learning how to paint this. So again, if anybody's looking at this and going, absolutely no chance, I can guarantee you I can get you to paint this and it will be lovely. So don't you worry about that. We'll just follow the instructions online and you will be absolutely fine. I don't make life complicated. We have a very set of equipment that we use, which is our paintbrushes, cocoa butter painting, and very easy to obtain colours. We do keep an entire set of those colours here so that you can copy and follow along with me. That's the point, is that you learn how to paint this dog and then you go, well, that's nice, I've really enjoyed doing that, and then you have a go yourself at maybe a dog or another animal that you know or have a picture of. So it's going to be, there you go, loads of people are already getting excited by this one, and it's but the popularity of this particular dog, I think. My brother has one, my hairdresser has one, so I know lots of people who've got them. In fact, I can't go to the hairdressers without this dog sitting on my knee whilst I'm having my hair cut, so I'm quite familiar with these dogs. So if you would like to have a go, again, it will be up to be able to purchase shortly. It's not on at the moment, but it will also be available for the gold and silver members. So the silver members, remember, are the ones with access to cake painting only, and the gold members have got access to everything. So that will be available shortly. So it'll be available later today when I put it up on the screen. You'll be able to purchase it from there if you want to, or join as a member, and it will all appear like magic in your Teachable account, which is where we host all our classes in January, and you will get a little notification, or it'll suddenly appear. You'll log in and there it'll be, as if by magic. Now, I've done this fairly big. I'm going to hold it up there so you can kind of see what size I've done with it. There it is. I think I ended up doing this on a what's that? Looks like a 10-inch round board. And note that I've done the background in like a pale green colour. So you could do pale green, you could do pale blue, anything as long as it's kind of like a pastel colour, and then that really helps kind of set off your painting. We do paint on boards sometimes because actually it's quite nice to paint on a board. It gives you an opportunity to practice and to basically, it doesn't matter if you make a mistake then, does it? So although what the gold members don't realise is one of their challenges is going to be actually to paint on a cake coming up, so they're going to be pleased about that, aren't they? Lots of them paint on cake cards, but oh no, we're going to have Be Brave stickers, and we're going to actually paint onto cakes. So there's lots to look forward to coming up this year. We have had a huge number of Christmas cake classes at the moment. We've obviously had our beginners one, which has been really, really busy. We've had loads of people doing that, going on to cupcake bouquet wreaths. We've had our winter one, we've had our winter spectacle. I can't find a picture of it now. Where is it? Oh, I've got the video of it, but not the picture. Oh, there it is. There's the picture. We've had this one as well, which already some students have started to do. So there is a massive amount of information on there. And we're normally extremely busy in January. That's when we have all our Christmas people now painting wildly to get everything done for Christmas. And then January comes, and I think it gets a bit kind of like, right, New Year's resolution. We all have them. Whether we like them or not, and whether they're the same ones that you have every year, most people have them, and we normally get a lot of people joining in January where they're going, right, it's not very nice outside, it's cold, what can I do? I'm going to stay inside and I'm going to do some painting tutorials. So you are very, very welcome to come and join us at any time, and membership is flexible. I just want to point that out as well. If you sign up for a year, then you're with me for a year, but if you sign up for a monthly basis, you can come and go as you please. So if you want to leave after a couple of months, that's fine. You have the control to do that, not me. So you're the one who would go into your account and change it, and then if you want to come back again, you can sign up and come back again. So it's all as flexible as I can possibly make it, and I've been very good and not changed my prices for a long time. So I'm hoping it's still really good value. And for those gold members that are still on there, they've had a lot of content this year. When I initially set out to do the school, I promised one tutorial a month. They're getting between 2 and 3 a month, so they're getting double what I promised. So there is a lot of information coming out onto the school. I think it's really good value for money. I know they do as well, but do come and have a look. Go to the website, have a look around the school, see what we do, and see if it's something you would like to join us for, because it's a really lovely school, and I'm really pleased, I'm really proud of it. And we are now 4 or 5 years into it, and the school is growing rapidly, and next year will be exactly the same. We will still be growing and getting more content coming out. As I say, I'm already ahead with everything, as you can obviously clearly hear. I've already got various things filmed for next year, so we're ready to roll, and come January there will be even more. So do come and join us. It's a really lovely school, and I'm really pleased. If you would like to come and join us, it would be great. Right, okay, so we've talked a little bit about all of the cake school and everything you can expect on there. Back to Let's Shop Cake Live, so back to where all our products are. So we have 2 websites. We have a website where we have all our cakes, our cake lessons, which is what I've just talked about there. And then we have this one, which actually links to Tracey's Cakes. When you get there, you'll go, it's Tracey's Cakes, I know. But it goes to my shop side of the school. And what that does is it gives you all of the products and everything that I do on Let's Shop. So what I do is basically, I've invented all sorts of bits and pieces, and I mean invented, they have come from nowhere else but me. I've got a nice little man who does all my printing for me, so that works really well. And we are inventing things, or I'm inventing things and telling him to print them for me, so that's how it works. So we have got lots of bits and pieces to get through this morning. I am going to build a gingerbread house, but I'm not going to do it until after I've done the other bits and pieces first. So we're going to run through those first. Some of them are new, some of them are from last year, so some you'll recognise, some you won't. The idea being that I'm trying to remind you that if you have already bought that particular cutter or whatever it is, this is what you need to do with it. So it is acting as a really good reminder, and for the new people who started to watch Let's Shop this year as well, it is showing you what we already have, so it is quite handy from that point of view. So we're going to get started. We're going to start off with, she says, looking at her enormous list in front of her and thinking, where do I start? I don't even know where to start. Let's start with something really straightforward. We will do the penguin. Let's do the penguin. She says that's really straightforward. What a good idea that was. Maybe I should do the envelopes first. They're a bit more of a good idea. So yeah, let's do the envelopes first. So we've had Santa's envelopes the last few weeks. I'm just moving a few bits and pieces over here so we can do them. So we've been doing Santa's writing kit. And with that, we have had some stamps. Now, obviously, I did not expect everybody to be quite so enthusiastic about the stamps as you all were. You all went absolutely mad. And that was so lovely. I'm going to put my camera down there now so you don't have to keep looking at the back of my head. There we go. Right. So we had the little stamps. There they are. And we have been making letters to Santa. Where's my letter to Santa? There they are. And I have been demonstrating these over the last few weeks, but again I will be running through these probably on Tuesday night just to do a letter so everyone can see what they are. So we've done Letter to Santa. Today's theme is very much about gingerbread men. So obviously gingerbread has been quite a big thing for today. So I have got a new addition to this letter writing kit that I'm going to just run through you. And it's a much more straightforward one for people that perhaps don't want to do all the complication that I did on here. So, and it is gingerbread based. So I'm going to show you that now. That's the next thing we're going to do. Right, I'm just searching for a rolling pin because I know... There we go, I've got one. I put them away last time when I was being super tidy, which we know is not a good thing on a live because there I can never find anything. Right, okay. So this is actually, this particular thing that we're going to look at now is only for the large ones. So it's not for the small, it's only for the large. Okay, just so everybody's aware of what we're doing here. So we're just going to do one large cookie. Right, I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to bring that in and I'm going to bring that in. So we're going to move those. And I'm going to show you the sheet that I've made up for you. So we get 4 on a sheet and they are already pre-done letters, you can see. All right, so there's a gingerbread house and a gingerbread man. And these are, again, based on the idea of this letters to Santa. This is going to be for your cookie. Now you could just put them straight on your cookie. You could do what I'm going to do and just put a little bit of sugar paste underneath them. And again, it doesn't have to be the thickest bit of sugar paste ever, but I just think sometimes it sits a bit better. But it's not, you don't have to all the time. So let's just roll this out. Hopefully you can see everything. Yeah, I never know where my camera angle is going to be until I get going. So we'll just bring that down there. Don't need to make it too thick. So this Letter Santa writing kit included the cookie cutters. So there was this one and a small one. Where's my small one? I had that a minute ago. There it is. And the small one. So this one and this one, a copy of the stamps and a pen, an edible pen, so that you could write your Dear Santa messages. This sheet here stands in its own right, so it's not included in any kits or anything, it is on its own. So if you do want this, it is completely on its own, you would just order it. I think I've listed it as something like gingerbread envelopes or something along those lines, but it is on Let's Shop, and you get 4 on a sheet and it's only for the large one, okay? So just make sure you remember it's only for the large one. Don't need to get there and go, yeah, I can't do it for the small one. No, you can't. Do it for the large one. Right, so we're going to put that on there. Around a circle. We don't need this bit. This was actually something we had for Valentine's Day. So we don't need that bit. We will do when we get to Valentine's Day again, but we don't need it at the moment. So we don't need to press down. We just need the shape. So we take our cookie. Let's turn it around like so. Move that out of the way. Grab hold of a paintbrush. Now I've got some royal icing that I've already mixed up, so it's a little bit like a glue. So that's royal icing with a little bit of water in it, so it's all sticky. And I'm just going to paint across my cookie like that. Cookies in for Christmas, you can do them about a week ahead, week to 10 days ahead. Store them carefully and you won't have a problem. Or wrap them. Lots of people wrap them, don't they? Put them in cellophane. Now if I pull that back, you'll see, there we go there, that there is a sheet there that you need to remove behind, a backing sheet. So it's very important you remove that, otherwise somebody's going to have a mouthful of plastic. So what we'll do, let's cut up here. Which one should we do? Oh, choices. Okay, let's do this one. So we'll do this one here. Do you know, the one thing I always dread when I come on a live is that I can't find my scissors. It's the first thing I have to find before I go live because I'm so worried about it. Silly, isn't it? Right, let's take that off so I don't forget. Yeah, I'm always worried about losing my scissors. It'd be a bit of a disaster otherwise. Okay, so this one is a complete version of a letter. So this is just for someone who doesn't want to do the stamps and the fiddling around that involves the other thing. And these are gingerbread themed, whereas the Santa ones are not. So let's go around, cut that out. There we go. So you'll find, I think these are quite high up on Let's Shop at the moment. You'll find them fairly easily. There we go. Oh, let's cut back that bit. Okay, right, let's get rid of that bit. And then we're going to just pop that. Oh, let's grab some water. Let's grab a bit of water. There we go. And then all we're going to do is just put some water on there. Like so. And then just pop that on top like that. Isn't that easy? All done for you. So it's much quicker than the stamps. So if you prefer not to do the stamps and you prefer to do something like this, this is the quick version. Now it does say on here from, so if you wanted to write a little message, you know, from whoever, so let's do this then. I'm going to write from Tracey with my black pen. And I've not actually tested this to make sure it works. Let me just check my pen is working, so that's fine. Right, so we're going to put from Tracey. Okay, here we go. So it says from there. So I'm going to just use my black edible pen. Obviously, please don't use a biro or a Sharpie for this because that's not going to work because it won't taste very nice. There we go. So I've put that on there like so. So that's nice and straightforward, isn't it? So if you wanted to do super quick ones, then we've got pre-done envelopes for you now, which are gingerbread themed. So 2 gingerbread houses and 2 gingerbread men. And they are on a sheet on their own. So if you do want to get them, you will need to order the sheet on its own. Don't forget as well, if you don't have a black pen and you want a pen to write a message, you can write whatever you want on here. I mean, you could go mad really, can't you? You could put all sorts of bits and pieces on here. But they're nice little things to make with kids because they can then sign them themselves and put from whoever. I just think it's a really nice idea. It's a really easy thing to do and very effective. But they are only available in the large size. So please remember it's only large for these at the moment. So just large ones. But there we go. So that's an idea there for you, which sort of expands on the stamps, which we've had loads of fun with in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to put those, let's put them side by side so you can see what they look like. There you go. So you've got 2 different options now. So we've either got this one with the stamps, or you have got the ones that are already done complete, which you just cut out and stick on. And for some people, that's the way forward. That's what they like to do. They don't want it to be too complicated. So there are options there for everybody. So hopefully that covers absolutely everybody. And I've not missed anyone who wants to do these things but doesn't want to get too involved in too many crafts, if you know what I mean. Right, and I'm just ticking this off my list because I have got so many bits and pieces I need to do today. I need to make sure I've got them all. Right, that's that one. Now, the other thing I found in my cupboard, which I thought, why on earth didn't you do that, you silly? Here we go. Pipe with a number 1. My gold members, they moan a lot about piping nozzle number 1. I don't know why. It's not that bad. Well, I think we need to do a carrot mould. Why wouldn't we do a carrot cookie mould? Who likes carrots at Christmas? Well, apart from that thing that's on the television, isn't it? Isn't that a character that's on the television? I'm not even sure which supermarket it belongs to. One of them, doesn't it? And I thought, hold on a minute. What's he called? Kevin, isn't it? Let's do a carrot. But not only can we do a carrot, we could put him with the reindeer, but then that means that the reindeer's got to eat the carrot, which in our house would be completely normal, to be perfectly honest, but it might not be for you. I think people put different things out, don't they? So I've listed my carrot cookie cutter, which actually is normally an Easter item. I'm just going to dye a little bit of orange sugar paste here. So a little bit of orange Pro Gel. I'll just give that a bit of a knead. But yeah, is he Kevin the carrot or something? You know, something along those lines. Audi. Oh, it's Audi, is it? Right, okay. I can see him, but I couldn't think where he was from this morning. And God, I've got to try and remember before I go live. But then I thought, do you know what? They'll tell me anyway, so that's fine. Let's make it a bit brighter, shall we? We'd like to have a super bright orange. There he is. I can't remember what he looks like, but I know he's got a couple of eyes and a smile. So that sits nicely with my my idea, so that's good. But you could have him alongside the lovely reindeer. So we've had our lovely reindeer cookie. So you could make up some carrots to go with the reindeer. Pop him in a treat box, that would be nice. So you could do that if you wanted to add carrots to your collection. I should have done one of the John Lewis things, that funny Venus flytrap thing. Maybe that's what I should have focused on. Funny enough, I didn't think a Venus flytrap would come up for Christmas this year, so I wasn't expecting that one. But I thought, oh, carrot yesterday, what am I doing? Of course, let's do that. So there we go. So we're going to make Kevin the carrot, or whatever he's called. Is he called Kevin? I think he's called Kevin. Sounds right. You know when you've watched these things and you think subliminally you've taken in all this information, and actually then you realise you haven't taken in any of it? Well, I think this is what's happening here. Right, there we go. So we just cut out a little bit of orange here. Right, let's put this down carefully. Now I did actually manage to break this yesterday, so I've got to be a bit careful. You can hear it. Hopefully I'll be able to cut it out okay. I managed to cut the... Yeah, no, I was a bit silly with it yesterday. Luckily, I won't be sending you that one. Let's cut that round there. Cut with my cutting wheel. And round the bottom. There we go. Right. We don't need that bit because that's obviously not orange, so we'll take that bit off. And we'll bring that in and we will grab... I'm going to bring this camera down a little bit lower. Just tip it that way. There we go. So I just need to check where I'm live, that you can see everything. And then we're going to pop a little bit of orange on there. Okay, now you could pipe that top bit if you wanted to. I'm going to cut it out with sugar paste today just to be consistent, I think, more than anything else. So we'll just pop that little bit of green there. It's probably now got a little hint of orange in there as well because my hands have got orange on them. And then we'll pop that over the top. Press down. It's like doing jigsaw puzzles, my cookie cutters. That's how I describe them. But that's okay. I'll just press down there to make sure I know where the point is that's been cut. And then we'll just take the cutting wheel, cut that bit off there. Okay, bring that in. We'll just dab that down. And we'll pop that on. Like so. There we go. Reindeer's going to be happy, isn't he? And then we're going to just take hold of, we've got this Dresden tool here, so we'll just kind of rock that in there. I don't want to pull it because otherwise it will pull the green out of position. So we'll just rock it and we'll just make it look like it's a little bit, there we go, you see? And actually it's quite nice if there are a few lines on there as well, isn't it? There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll take our side of our tool there and we'll just pull that round so that the carrot's a bit more carrot shaped. There we go. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm just going to light my, hold on, I'm going to light my cocoa butter while I'm thinking of it. Just so that's ticking away over there. And then what we'll do is we'll grab some of these little eyes. Now these might be too big. Let's have a look for this one. Let's see what we think. Ooh, I can't catch you. There we go. Oh no, that's fine. They'll do. Because we'll embed them in. We'll push them in. And then that will trim them down a little bit. So if we just take a little, let's put them in about there, shall we? I'm sure his eyes are quite low down. I think the other little ones will be too small. Let's have a look. We'll press them right down so they go in. And then they're embedded in there, aren't they? There he is. He's come to life, or he's coming to life. Now, you heard me sort of rummaging in the background there with my cocoa butter, so I'm just going to bring this in. This is how I've been painting, obviously, so you can see. Right, so we've got cocoa butter that's going to be melted. By doing that, we need one of these, which is a chrome food warmer. Oh, is he called Kevin? Kevin, what have I been calling him? No, I did call him Kevin. Oh, that's right. No, it's Kevin the carrot. You know, you suddenly think, have I called him something else? So the cocoa butter is melting there. You can see that there. And all I'm going to do in a second, once that's melted, is just take hold of paintbrush number 1, which is one of my paintbrushes with numbers on them, which is what I use to help teach. It's very helpful for being able to tell you what brush you should have in your hand. And we're going to, where are we? If I can find one, there we go. And we're just going to mix up a tiny little bit of black. So put it on there. Now, if you didn't want to do this, you could just use a little bit of black sugar paste. So if you have got some black sugar paste available, you can make those little eyes yourself and then just roll a little tiny mouth and make a little carrot that way. But I'm just going to literally just do a tiny little smile, because he's got a little smile from what I remember. Very small. There he is. There you are. And then obviously, because it's to make his eyes pop or look brighter, I'm just going to turn this around and you'll see white appear just here. And then we'll just take hold of our dotting tools. So I'm always using these dotting tools here with little tiny balls on the end of them. And we'll just pop that into the white paint and we'll just put a little tiny circle onto his eyes. There we go. And then they pop. And then we can actually think, yes, that now looks like it's alive. There we go. There's our carrot. So that's the one from the Aldi advert, apparently, not the Sainsbury's one that I was thinking it was. But also he could sit alongside the reindeer. Maybe if you didn't put some eyes on him, it might make it a little bit more justified. But you could actually put him next to a reindeer. Let me find my reindeers. Where are you? That's it. I've got one. Right, so reindeer and a carrot together. Look at that. You see, they're friends really. But we all know what's coming with the carrot. So you could do a box of reindeers with some carrots in. That would be quite nice. We did have some slightly bigger boxes, which I'm now looking for, which I'm sure I got out, but I can't quite see. So I'm just going to lean over and grab one. And you can put a couple of cookies in these boxes together. They are white though, I think, not red. So I'm just leaning across to, if you hear an avalanche, just ignore that. Can never guess anything. Oh no, they are red. So we've got some double boxes that have arrived now. Now we've only got a limited number of boxes. I haven't got very many in. But if you wanted to have a go at putting a couple of different cookies in together, let's put in our reindeer and our carrot. So you could probably get a couple of carrots in there, couldn't you? You could put one there, maybe one down there. But we'll put 2 in for now. So there we go. We've got our reindeer and carrot box there. Now for Christmas Eve in our house, that would be completely normal. We would be expecting him to eat half a ton of carrots because that's what we used to leave. I had a slightly funny sense of humour and thinking, well, that's great because I have to watch my my partner eat them, which is very funny. A lot of them because the girls would be expecting him to do that, or rather Santa. But there we go. So that's another little idea that you can do using these boxes as well. Now these boxes are listed on the website. There are some white ones and there are some red ones. Be careful which ones that you pick to make sure they're the ones that you want. Let me tip that a bit because the light's shining on it. It's a bit difficult to see. So there we go. You can see all the different bits and pieces you can do for the carrot. So that's nice and easy, isn't it? That's not a difficult thing to do. There we go. I'm just going to put the lid under there so we can actually see it, and I'll take a photo of that later on so that we can see everything. Right, okay, let's move on again. Now, what did I do with that cookie? That's the question. Do I leave it over here? Yes, I did. So over the last couple of weeks, we focused very much on the hats. So we've been making lovely hats. And now it's time to make the mittens because it's got considerably colder. And up to now, I've managed to go out without any gloves on, but now absolutely no chance whatsoever. It's freezing. So I thought it's time to get the gloves out. So I'm just going to run through how to do the gloves, which is very similar to how to do the hats. But you can, of course, make them match. Now we have large hats and we have mini hats, and we have large mittens and we have mini mittens. So the mini ones will go on top of cupcakes. So I've just got to wash my hands because otherwise they're going to go orange. So my hands are still bright orange. So if you want to make mini ones to go on top of cupcakes, we do have a mini mittens and mini hats. They come together in a set, so they're very nice as well. So we're going to run through this next. So I'm just cleaning up my hands so nothing else turns orange. There we go. Right, let's move. I'm going to move my letters out of the way. Let's put those over here. What I've been doing recently is when I complete Let's Shop, I've been taking pictures of everything together, and I've been putting that up as the front image on my YouTube channel so that you know what it is for each edition. I hope that's helpful to some people. I've been putting up loads of TikTok videos this year. I've gone above and beyond myself this year and made lots and lots of TikTok videos to help you, as much as it is to help me, but to help you, so that when you think you're ready to do something but you can't remember how to do it, there is a video to help you. If you see these videos come up, watch them, like them, follow us, any of those things, because then you'll get to see more of them. And if you go to my page on TikTok, there's loads of them. All ones from last year as well. They are getting faster, a lot faster. And that's me just speeding them up. They're all under a minute and they will show you how to do everything. So they're very helpful from that point of view. Right, let's get the mitten done. So I've already cut one out, which actually's got a bit of green buttercream on, but I've used green buttercream and it got in the way. So it became a casualty of the buttercream. All right, so let's, again, just put a little bit of sugar paste down. And we're going to make some mittens to match our hat so that when we go out, we look very stylish, obviously. So you can make these for little, again, more treat boxes. You can also cut any of these shapes out and put them straight onto cakes. You do not have to make cookies. I know I always show everything on a cookie, but you don't have to do it like that. You can just cut them out and put them onto a cake. So it is nice and easy to do that way. So we just need the shape. We don't need anything else. So again, we just press down. Oh, that's stuck on there. Right, press down, give it a wiggle. That's just to make sure it's cut through. Okay, lift it up. There we go. Lovely shape. I used to have these on an elastic, piece of elastic threaded through my clothes in the 70s so that I didn't lose them. I'm sure I'm not alone. I really wish I was doing that now because I'm always losing my gloves. Okay, let's put that on there. And we'll put the mitten on there. Okay, so we've done that bit. Right, now we've had lots of these sheets this year. Again, we're on a bit of a gingerbread theme today, so I thought, right, we'll do the gingerbread ones. So all you need to do then is just put your gingerbread cookie cutter on there. Take hold of your edible black pen or edible pen, whatever you've got, and then just go round the outside. Now you don't need the whole thing, because obviously you're going to be stopping for the cuff. We're going to paint the cuff. Not paint it, pipe it. So I'm just going to put a little line that goes across there so I know where I need to stop. I don't need to include that bit as well. So with these sheets, we've had them over the last few weeks and I've shown you loads and loads of different things you can do with them. You can clearly see where I've been hacking away at it over the last few weeks doing bits and pieces. So they are very versatile. You can do an awful lot with them, not just, you know, one or two bits that I showed you at the start. Loads you can do. So let's cut it out. Let's get it out of here. So obviously we don't want the black line, so we're going to go just inside the black line. Always remember with these, do not touch them with water, because if you've got wet hands, they will take off the print. It's as simple as that. I know it because I've done it myself. If you've got water on your hands, you touch the print will dissolve because it's food colouring, which is a good thing really, because obviously we don't want it to be permanent. But please remember that when you are dealing with these sheets. And that's all of our edible sheets, okay? Every single one of them, the snow globes, the jumpers, anything. Please, please be careful, okay? So round we go, like so, and then on there. So again, the gingerbread man sheet is on its own. There is a gnome one as well, and there is also a fox and a deer, which is very sweet. Really kind of gives that first Christmas vibes, that particular sheet. I think it does anyway. Right, let's bring this back in. Take hold of my paintbrush. What did I do with that? There it is. All right, water. So we just put a little bit of water to stick it. So bear in mind, when the minute you've got water involved, just keep your, make sure you don't touch it. We'll pop that on. I did take the plastic off. Yes, I did. So pop that on, press it down, make sure it stays in position. Now we've still got the cuff, which we are now going to pipe with a little bit of royal icing across the bottom there. Now it doesn't really matter particularly what nozzle you use, but as long as it's kind of like a sort of star one. The one I've got in here this morning is 43, which is a PME 43 nozzle. It's like a little tiny, trying to find the best angle with this, it's never easy on a camera. It is a bit of a star nozzle, but it will do. I've got it in because I'm going to use it to join up my gingerbread house, but I've also thought, right, okay, well I can do other things with it as well. So it's out for the day today. But you can also use Wilton 18. That's a good one. I like Wilton 18. We talk a lot about that nozzle on here, but I've got 42 in here today. So I'm just going to squeeze that so it comes right down to the bottom. There it is. And then this is royal icing. It's not buttercream. The reason it's not buttercream is because if we had buttercream, it would never set. And then we would not be able to put these in bags, present them, give them away, whatever it is we want to do. So you must do this with royal icing. And of course you could change the colour. So if you fancied doing, I don't know, a brown or a gold or something else, you could change the colour of the cuff and do something completely different. So I'm just going to go across there. I'm just doing little swirls. I'll probably need to do 3 rows, I normally do. And then I'll show you what I've done with the other nozzle and you'll see the difference. So this is being done with a 43. Again, they are on my website. And then the other one I did with an 18. Okay, so we've got matching hat and gloves here. So that's the gloves and that's the hat. Okay, now this one here is an 18, whereas this one here is a 43. So there's 2 different ones there, as you can see, and that's the different effects on them. So if I hold them up a bit closer, you'll be able to see them exactly what's going on. All right, so you can see they're a little bit more spiky than these ones, but it doesn't matter, to be honest, because I think most of the time your eyes are going to be looking at all of this and just the overall effect. So we have mini mittens, large and mini mittens together, and we have large and mini hats together as well. And Donna, I've picked up who it is now because I was thinking someone's putting links up. I'm not sure who it is. It is Donna. Thank you, Donna. She's putting up a few links, but you will find everything on Let's Shop Kate Live. If you go to the site and scroll down, there's usually 2 pages of it. You will find hopefully everything I'm showing you anyway. So thank you, Donna. It's so helpful. Hopefully though you will be able to find it. That's the idea. And if you can't, to be honest, get in contact with me afterwards and I'll point you in the right direction of where everything needs to be. But that's exactly what that is. So that's the mittens and the hats together, and we're going to go straight into a Christmas tree now. So where's my Christmas tree gone? Oh, I've put everything in a big pile over here. Right, there's me saying I'm going to do a summary on Tuesday evening. I think I've near enough done it today. Right, the Christmas tree. So we do have an extra large Christmas tree, which is bigger than this. And we also have a set of 2, which this is one of, that you can then pipe Christmas trees onto. They are really lovely to do. So I'm just making sure I've got enough royal icing to actually be able to do my gingerbread house, because I'm going through quite a bit now. So I'm just reloading my bag because I need a bit more. These are nice and easy and straightforward. Probably better with a slightly bigger nozzle, and I did get one out, so that's good. So I'm just going to unscrew the adapter here. It stops me having to change a bag. Pop on this nozzle here, which is the Wilton 18, and we'll just tighten that up. There we go. And then I've changed my nozzle without having to change my bag, so that's a nice easy one to do. So what we can do here is we can literally just pipe ourselves a tree. I'm not going to do it in traditional colours. We're going to go for like a frozen kind of blue type tree. So we're imagining now that we've gone to Frozen. What's the name of the place that is in Frozen? I can't even think of it now. I can see it. It'll come to me anyway. So we're going to just start at the bottom, and you're just going to pipe and pull, pipe and pull. So you're going to literally go across here. Let me get down a little bit further with this. Squeeze and pull up. So you can push quite a bit of icing out, but as you go around the corner, you're going to just slightly change direction. So you can see they sort of go out a little bit like that. And then we follow it up from there. So you can do these, you can obviously do them in green because that would be a traditional colour. So if you want to make green Christmas trees, you're going to need to dye your icing green before you start. Very important, but we're doing a modern funky Christmas tree this morning, so we're doing it in white. There we go. Okay, so nice big squeeze of icing out this way. So we have, say, 3 sizes in this, 2 together and then an extra large one on its own. And I'm pretty certain the dimensions are on there. So if they're not in Let's Shop, they'll be in Cookie Cutters or the Christmas shop. There is a Christmas shop as well, and you should find everything in there. We've had lots of fun this year. We've sold masses of the Christmas tree sprinkle mix. That's one of our biggest sellers. So I've got to turn this heater off. No, that's the light. So I'm turning the heater off because I'm actually cooking now. There we go. Christmas tree sprinkle mix, but we have 2 other mixes as well. We have a frozen blue one, and we also have a pink Christmas tree mix, which ones I'm going to do at the moment. This is a Wilton 18 nozzle, and it is on our site. So if you want the Wilton nozzle, Wilton 18, it's on the website on Let's Shop Kate Live. There we go. Right. At the top, and then obviously we're going to turn it around, and there's our tree there. So that's nice and easy, isn't it? That's not complicated, I don't think. And then we've got this one, which is the frozen blue mix. So in there we've got like little stars. We'll put a star at the top there. We've got little blue sprinkles. I'm just going to blue and white in here. So I'm just going to put those on now while the icing is still soft. Because if you leave this and then come back and do them, they're not going to stick. So it's really important every time you do a cookie, you decorate it straight away. And then I'm just going to take my little stars. I might fill in a few gaps if I've got them. And I'll just put them on there. So this is for people that like to have highly coordinated Christmas trees. I am definitely not that person. Mine looks terrible normally. And then just pop some little snowflakes in there as well. So you've got little snowflakes, you've got little stars. Let's put a few more blue ones in there and just pop them on there. A little bit of tree decorating. I don't think you can go too wrong with these, to be honest. They make great gifts for teachers if you're doing teachers this week or next week or whenever it is they break up. I've lost track of it a little bit because I don't have kids in school anymore, so it's amazing what you lose track of. But you can do, there we go. I'll stick a few more blue ones in there. But you could do this on a green tree or pale blue, silver, doesn't really matter, does it? But there you go, you can sit here for hours doing this. Very entertaining. So there is a pink Christmas tree sprinkle mix as well, and then there is our traditional, there we go, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Very Christmassy. There you go. Can't go wrong with that, can you? That is a tree. It's a funky tree. We've got, let me get the pink one out so you can see that one as well. So this is the pink one. There we go, turn it upside down so you can see it. So that has hot pink, light pink, snowflakes in that mix there. So that's quite a nice one. This one's got the blue in it to represent, obviously, we're all freezing cold. So that's what that's all about. I'll put a few more on because I'm getting carried away now. And you can also spray them with finishing sparkle as well. So if you want them to be all glittery, we do have finishing sparkle on the website as well. So if you want to spray a bit of that on there, make them glitter, that's a good one as well. That's like a pump dispenser. So it sort of literally just pumps out a little bit of glitter on there. I'm just trying to see if I could see mine. Mine is normally never far away because I'm using it all the time, but it seems to have walked. I think I used it for something else the other week. But the finishing sparkle you could use on there as well. I've got a couple little more stars on there. They can go, rather than me having to sweep up the sprinkles everywhere. Let's put them on because they normally go everywhere. I think it's a much better idea that you actually put them in a box or a plate or something to catch the sprinkles, so that you don't then have to spend the next whatever amount of time clearing up sprinkles or finding them everywhere, because they seem to travel, especially the small ones. No matter what you do, they appear everywhere. So maybe try and contain them as best you can. If you've got them in a cake lid, for example, if they spill everywhere, you can tip them back into the container and reuse them, so there's nothing kind of lost there. And they do fit inside our little boxes as well, so if you do want to send a tree to somebody, they do fit inside those boxes. So if you want to add the boxes to your list, these are the single white ones. They do fit nicely into there. All right, so that's those. We're steaming through this today. Right, we're going to do the penguin next, and then we're going to begin the gingerbread house construction, just so that we know exactly where we are. How are we doing for time? Perfect, we're spot on where we need to be. Okay, so I'm just going to move these bits out the way. I'll leave the tree there for the moment while I just have a bit of a reorganisation, because you can imagine every time I swap something over, I have to try and find what I'm looking for. So there we go. Right, we have a penguin. There he is. So that's our little penguin. I'm not going to clear up the icing sugar because we are going to be using that again. So the penguin, again, is something we've had before. He is not new. We had him last year, but he didn't come in right until the end of last year. So I thought, well, he's definitely going to be worth going over and discussing. So in terms of size, he's a bit of a party penguin. He does have a hat on his head. He's 7 centimetres that way by, I think he's 5 that way. Yeah, 5 centimetres that way. So he's not quite... He's a little bit bigger than cupcake size, so he would look really nice sort of stood around the edge of a cake. So if you were, I think I did one like that actually. If you are going to make the penguins and you want to stand them around the edge of a cake, he does look really quite good that way. Right, let us do penguins next. So we have got some black sugar paste here, so we're going to give that a bit of a knead to start with. Get that going. And we'll put a little bit of icing sugar down so it doesn't stick to the table, and then we'll just roll this out to start with. Now we have got to cut a few bits and pieces out of this because obviously it's a penguin, so he's got white on him as well. We'll pop him onto the plastic side scraper, a little bit of icing sugar, pop him on there. We don't really need the hat at the moment. We're only kind of interested in this lower half here. So we're going to press it down. We're going to give it a wiggle, like so. I'm going to take that off. Family of penguins. Yeah, you could customise your penguins, couldn't you? I think you could have quite a lot of fun with this, because I think you can do exactly that. Right, I'm just going to press down everything so I can see where everything's meant to be. That's it, then we'll push that out. There he is. So there's our outline. You can see what we're looking at. Put that there for a second and put that down. Right, so what do we not need? We don't need his hat. We're going to take that off. We're going to leave him intact apart from that, because we're going to just stick everything else on top. So we're going to stick his white on top there. It's much easier than trying to sort of cut that middle bit out. It'll be a nightmare. We don't want to be doing that. So we'll keep it nice and easy, and then we'll just take a little bit like that. I'm going to paint the whole thing because I'm going to put his hat on his head in a minute anyway. So we'll just pop that on there like so. Okay, so that's the lower half of the penguin. Okay, now what should we do next? Let's give him an orange hat, because that's what I've made up this morning. So orange would be good. Right, let's get the green out of it. We don't want green in it. Just a bit of orange, because obviously he's going to a party, so he won't have a hat. Give him an orange hat. Right, we'll just grab a bit of kitchen roll. Got a bit of water on there. Let's take that out. There we go, that's better. Right. And we'll give that a roll. Go. It's got a bit of black in it, but that's all right. you won't mind about that. Pop that on there, place that on there, press it down, give it a wiggle, take that away, turn it upside down, and then just press down where the hat is going to be coming in, which I missed. That's helpful, isn't it? Let's put that back on there again. Right, I missed it, it was too low. I did his face and not his hat. Silly me. Right, now I can press it down. Got it. Got it. There we go, that's his hat there. So we'll just take that and we will just cut that piece out. Again, we're doing a bit of a jigsaw. And we'll pop your hat on there. There we go. Like so. We'll put some sparkle bits and pieces on in a minute. We'll leave him as is at the moment. And then we need to make this bit white in the centre. So what we'll do is we will take hold of a little bit of white sugar paste, roll that out. Like so. Again, we'll just make sure we've got some icing sugar on it. Put that on there. Pop that in the middle. So we want that middle bit now. So we will need to press down, cut it out, but we won't have the markings. We will need to flip it over to do this. We're going to turn it over and we're going to press it down until we find that centre bit, because that's the bit we want. There it is. You can see I've pressed it down and then turn it back. There we go. And then we've got that middle bit there. So then I'm just going to take hold of my cutting wheel and I'm just going to go around and cut out his stomach, body, whatever it is you want to call it, middle bit. Very technical penguin terms here. There we go. I think that's it. That's it. There. Done. Right. And then we can just stick that bit on there with just a little bit of water. We don't need to use royal icing again because it just makes it a little bit more lumpy. Whereas if we do it with water, don't put too much down there, put quite a bit down here. Hopefully that won't matter. And then we just pop that bit in there and it's sorted that way. There we go. Just stretch it out a little bit. Perfect. That is you. Then we'll go back to our cookie eyes, because obviously these are what we've been using for all our different characters. These are our 4mm cookies. And we'll just grab a little bit of icing. And then we'll just put a tiny little blob in there, a tiny little blob there, just to hold them in place. Because if you just push them in, they're going to fall out, guaranteed. And we'll pop that in there, like so. And then I'm going to take my royal icing and I'm just going to go across his hat here with a little bit of, just go round, just press a little bit of icing out. He's got a bobble hat on, this one, I think. And then we'll just do a little swirl up the top there. There you go, look, he's got his, he's outside with his hat on. You've got to have some imagination with this. Try and think outside the box here. We're just going to put some little, we'll do his beak bit, which we'll just do as a little triangle. So a little tiny triangle, like so, which you just push together. I'm trying to hold that so you can see it. Okay, just a little tiny triangle. We'll just pop that on there. Pop that on. What we'll try and do, actually, we'll do it as a diamond, not a triangle. We'll do a diamond. I think a diamond might be better. So again, same thing, just push it together and pop that down there. And then if we're clever, which hopefully we are, we'll take hold of a scriber and we can just push that down in the middle there. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. And then if we want to make his feet orange as well, we can do that. Can't remember what colour penguins' feet are, but if you want to make them orange, You could put a little blob on the bottom. I'm not quite sure whether he's just going to look like he's got shoes on, I think. He's got shoes on, I think. Maybe we won't put the shoes on him. We'll keep him like that. There we are. Oh, and then we need to do his eyes. We mustn't forget his eyes because that's the bit that makes it. So we'll get a little bit of white again. Just make sure there's no white on there. We'll put a little, tiny little... So I'll just try and get a bit of icing out there. That's better. A little bit of icing on there. And then we'll just put some... Why don't we put some spots on his hat? Go. Or sprinkles, it doesn't really matter, does it? But I thought, well, while I've got the dotting tool on the go, we will do that. There he is. There's our little festive penguin. So he's really sweet and quick and easy to make. I mean, if you think about how long I've been live, I've only been doing these for literally about half an hour and I've already done loads. So I've done a penguin, I've done a mitten, I've done a letter, I've done a carrot. So there's loads and loads of these are very, very quick and simple things to do. They're not meant to be that difficult and they're meant to be able to customize them as well. So you can obviously decide how you want to present your penguin, whether it's with a red hat, blue hat, whatever type of hat you want it to be. The little whites in the eyes, you can always just do that with a little bit of royal icing if you want to do it that way, or just leave them off. You don't have to do them if you don't want to. I just think it makes them look a little bit more alive and a bit brighter. So there we go. So that's the little penguin cookie cutter. We only bought that one in very last minute last year, so I thought, right, I need to go over this one to make sure anybody who's either got one or wants one understands it. So the vision for these is to have little penguins kind of standing up around the edge of a cake. So if you're someone who's doing like a snow scene type cake, and you're doing Happy Christmas or something on the top, and you want to make some little penguins to go around the outside edge, that would be really sweet and they would look really lovely. And again, they can be on cookies or they can be just sugar paste like I've done here, and just stick them to the side of the cake. It's entirely up to you. I think if you're doing a snow scene, they're probably better off on biscuits. If you're doing them on a sugar pasted cake, and you want them to kind of wrap around the cake, then you would need to put them straight onto the cake. But they're easy to do, they're not difficult, and they're really effective. And he's very sweet, he's got a nice little face. So there we go. So that's the penguin cookie cutter. All right, and we're going to now start the gingerbread house, or my twist on the gingerbread house. Now we've got 2 cameras running for this, so I'm going to just have to make some moves just to organise myself a little bit so that we're not looking down the abyss of my mess everywhere. So I have a little clear up and just leave those there for a second so you can have a look at them. So last year we bought out gingerbread house cookie cutters, which lots of you did buy. There is a video on YouTube on how to assemble them. But what I've done is I have repurposed it slightly. I am going to make a gingerbread house, but I'm going to turn it into something else so that you can see the other options that you have going through the year, because I think sometimes it's too easy to just go, right, that's Christmas, that's that done, put it away and put it in a box. I'm giving you a different idea with the gingerbread house. I'm hoping that will be relevant to a lot of you. You'll be able to understand what it is that I've done. So we're going to make basically a Christmas cake topper using the gingerbread house. Now, I have made loads of gingerbread houses in my life, loads of them. Kelly and I make one every year. Normally it's a mansion or something ridiculous. My top tip with this is you make it and you leave it alone. You do not then decide to transport it on the day you've made it. You must leave it to set. It's absolutely crucial that you leave a gingerbread house to set, because if you don't, anyone who goes, I've heard a few horror stories recently of people going off on these gingerbread house making evenings and then not getting the gingerbread houses home. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all, because they just won't get back at all. They will just get completely and utterly destroyed because they won't stand up. So I'm going to bring my gingerbread stuff in that I'm going to use. I'm just going to remove those for a second. We don't need those till later. Let me just organise myself. Bear with me. So we are making a gingerbread house to start with. That's the first thing we're going to do. So these are the pieces that we need. I'm going to bring those in and I'm going to show you the cutters and what we're going to build it on, and we will change cameras as we go. All right. So let's move way. And then as we go through this, you will see little bits and pieces appearing. So this is going to take a little bit of time. So if you are tuning in, go and get a cup of tea quick because I'm going to be here a while. Okay, so I've made up a kit and for the whole project, but I've also got all these items separately anyway. So if you've already bought bits and pieces from me and you just need 1 or 2 items, you will be able to buy them separately. Otherwise, there is a kit to do this. So this is the gingerbread house cookie kit. That is the front. Let's go through this carefully. So this is the front and the back, front door, back part, okay? This is the side panel. Now the reason you know it's a side panel, it's the same width as the side, and that is the roof. And that's because it's the same width as the roof up the top there. So hopefully that's fairly straightforward. And there is a small cookie cutter here that you can use if you want to cut windows out of the side. So if you want to have windows, you can use that to cut those out. Now I haven't got any windows on this particular one because you will see why as I go through it, what the difference is, but there is a little cutter as well. So it is a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookie cutters for the gingerbread house. Now once I've done it, I will measure it and tell you how big it is, but I'm going to build it on this board here, and this is a 6-inch round little cake card. So that's all I'm going to build it on. There is no reason why you can't build this on here and then put it onto a cake, because then they can actually lift it off and keep it. But alternatively, you could just build this, what I'm about to do now, straight onto a cake. And I will show you how to do it properly, because loads of people try and do gingerbread and build it. And honestly, if you get the structure right, it's easy. You won't have any problems at all. Now I'm just going to start fiddling around my cameras here a little bit so I can just see if I can get the other camera going, so you can have a slightly better view of it being built rather than the overhead one, which is not going to help you. Right, there we go. We haven't been on this, oops, that's me chucking stuff on the floor. Not the project though, so that's good. We haven't been on this camera for ages, so this is bound to throw me a little bit. So this is our 6-inch round board, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by putting up the front or back of the house. Now I know that I want to set this back a little bit because I've got something to go on the front of this house, so I'm going to make sure that I set it a little bit back on here. Now there is a front and a back to this, so that's the front and that's the back. So that piece there has to go on the inside of the gingerbread house. So that's really important. So we're going to take hold of our nozzle and we're just going to put a line of royal icing. It has to be royal icing, and it doesn't have to have any glycerin in it. It has to be royal icing. If you try and do this with buttercream, it will collapse. It's as simple as that. Now, as soon as you've done it, if you just press that down like so, and then what I normally do, I get my sprinkles and I stand that up behind it, and that stops it moving. I can't hold it, so I need some help. So I usually use a pot of sprinkles or anything you can find just to put behind it. Okay, so if I just turn that around for a second, you will see that it's standing. And the most important thing when you're building a gingerbread house is to make sure it's actually upright, because if it's leaning backwards, the whole structure is going to fall in. All right, so I'm going to put that there now, and I'm probably not going to move it again for a little while we're building. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put up some of the sides. So I'm going to grab the side bit, because we know that's the side bit because it's the smallest part. And again, I'm going to put a line of royal icing down there like so. And I'm going to go across the bottom here as well with another line of royal icing. And it's quite thick because I need a good coating of royal icing. I'm going to take it, I'm going to stand it up and push it against what I've put up already. Now the royal icing, I'm going to just turn this gingerly here. The royal icing is going to come out of the side of the house here. So what I normally do is just take my nail or a paintbrush, whichever you want, and just kind of flatten that off a little bit. I'm not bothered about the bottom particularly, but I am going to pipe round those joins, and I would like it to be a little bit more tidier than that. So we're going to put my sprinkles back in again so that it doesn't move. And we're going to do the other side. Now I find as I build my houses, the structure of them tends to stabilise, and you'll see as you go, but it is obviously vulnerable. So you do not want to be pushing this around and trying to make this, do something that, it's not meant to be doing. Before you put your piece in, make sure you're piping the right pieces as well. So we're down this side here, and we're going all the way along the bottom here. Okay, so I'm just going to go along a little bit there because it's a funny shape. And we push that onto the inside of the gingerbread house. So if you're looking at it now, you can see that I've lined it up on the outside edge of the gingerbread house. I'm just going to take that bit out there, smooth that down a bit. Okay, have a look at the angles and you'll see. All right, you're getting a good view, so I'm not too worried about it. You're all very quiet, so you're obviously concentrating. Okay, she says with an evil laugh. Right, let's push that up there. Make sure everything is straight. Very important. Make sure it's straight. Make sure it's straight. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the front on. So we obviously need to pipe down here. And I find it easier to actually pipe the front part there. So I'm going to come down here like so. Nice and thick. Down this side here. And then I go across the bottom of this one here because then it's a little bit easier. I know then that I've got everything in the right position like that. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to push that in like so. I'm going to make sure before I even attempt to put the roof on that everything is in the right place, and just make sure there's any excess icing that you don't want to look at, you need to remove. So this part here, very, very important to make sure everything is standing and square. Now you can see my gingerbread house isn't moving around. It's very sturdy. I'm not expecting it to do anything funny. I'm expecting it to behave itself, or there's going to be trouble. Big trouble. I'm going to move it back a little bit though, just a tiny bit, the whole thing. This is very brave of me, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just going to move it back just a tiny bit. There we go. See, all is not lost. If you want to move it back, you can. There we go. I need a bit more space at the front, I've decided. So I'm just going to shift it back a tiny bit more. There we go. Now, what I can also do is I can take hold of my royal icing. I can go across the front here just to reinforce it. I am going to reinforce the whole thing in a minute. And I can also go inside of the structure. And I could just pipe. You're not going to be able to see this very well. I might put you on the other camera for a second, and then you might be able to see it better. There we go. I can go inside of the structure here and just reinforce these sides. This is not a pretty operation. It doesn't need to be perfectly honest. We just need to make sure that it's not going to collapse, because that's what we're aiming for here, is making sure this does not collapse. So come along here and we'll just make sure it's completely bedded in. There we go. Nice. All right, so that's the structure you've got at the moment. Okay. Right, back we come again. Hopefully this is all going in. If not, oh dear. Right, I'm going to put a bit more royal icing in my bag because I'm running out a little bit. So I'm just going to lean across the camera. You'll see my arm up here and probably me knocking the camera as well. Right, let's grab a bit of this. Some in here. Okay, right. So we've got that on. Let's just get the air out of this. There we go. And now let's have a look at the roof. So we need to get the roof on. So we've given that a minute or two to kind of settle down a bit. And I normally just pipe all the way down the edge, all the way across there. Oop, that's gone with me. Let's take that bit off because that's not very helpful, is it? Let's go across there again, all the way across there and all the way up there, like so. I'm going to take hold of this bit here. Just checking you've still got a reasonable view. I think you're okay. Camera's being a bit of a pain. There we go, it's back in focus again now. It's gone out of focus for a second. Right, and then we're just going to put that straight on up to the top. We'll just hold it for a second, just while we let that go. We're not fuzzy anymore because I've cleared the screen. Hold that for a minute. Okay, just put my finger down there just so it's cleaned the edges up a little bit. Okay, and then we'll turn this around. Camera's focusing on different things, it's fine now. Turn that back around here. And then we're going to go down this side, across this side, and up this side. And then we'll put a line across there as well. Now that's actually going to be slightly underneath, but we'll put that on like so. And again, we'll just hold it in position just for a minute, just to make sure it's not going to fall down. Just run that down there and down there. Okay, I'll give it a minute. Okay, hold it still. Very important. I should say while I'm holding this still. If anybody's seeing large scratches on my hands, that's courtesy of Kelly's kitten. I went to see Kelly last weekend, and Kelly has got a kitten. And I have to say, I came back with so many scratches. It just looks like I've fallen in a bush. So if anybody's looking at my hands thinking, what has she done? Well, bless him, little lovely pussycat, tore my hands to shreds, little devil. So that's what's going on. Right, okay, so we've done that. Let's turn that back round now. There we go. Now, we're not going to touch the house for a second. What we're going to do while we're waiting for that to settle is we're going to put some snow on the ground. So I'm just going to use what's in the bag, to be honest. It just make my life a tiny bit easier. You don't obviously have to do that. That would be insane. You can just get it straight out of the container. But we're going to push some of the snow up against the house. So that's going to sort of hold it in position. Now you may have this on a cake at this point, when in that case you wouldn't need to do this because it will already be on your cake. But I am just using this opportunity to make sure my structure is not going to be compromised in any way, shape or form by doing this. Put a bit more down. Across there like so. It is very important that you do not mess about with this while it's setting. You leave it alone. All right, make sure it's level from the word go. If you get that bottom bit right, the rest of it will be fine. It will all just fall into place. In the real world, where one isn't doing a live, you would leave it. You would get it to this point and you would leave it to dry. If you can just get the structure up and then go and have your lunch or something and then come back and do it, you'll be in a much better position than I will be. I'm going to be very tentatively icing this, but obviously I'm on a live, so I've got to keep going. With everything, so we'll keep on board here at the moment. So this is the basic structure of the gingerbread house, and at this point here you could do whatever you want. If you go onto Google or if you go onto my YouTube channel, you'll see a million different options of how you can pipe your gingerbread house. These are not huge gingerbread houses, which means they're brilliant size for kids. So you can do whatever you want, but please make sure they are set before they start pushing them about with various bits and pieces. That's the key to this, is making sure they're not going to fall down. All right, so I'm just going to use my palette knife just to fluff my snow up a bit. There we go. Make sure it's all towards the gingerbread house. There it is. We have got it. I would leave it an hour. It doesn't need to be left for hours and hours. Overnight would be perfect, but an hour is just as good. So don't worry too long, but just try and leave it alone if you can. I'm not going to. I'm going to continue, but I'm going to just give it a second while it's setting, just so that it's got an opportunity just to dry for a minute. Now, while it's doing that, I'm going to fill up my bag again. So at this point here, in fact, actually what I was going to say was this little cutter here is also the door. So if you want to make a door for your gingerbread house, you can make a door there. So you could put that on there and have it a little bit open if you want to. So that is the door and window. So you've got two options there. Right, okay, let me find, I'll just move this out of the way for a second. So I'm just having a juggle with everything, so I've got a lot of stuff in the way. This actually is not my gingerbread. I've got a gingerbread recipe card which you can get, but this is actually, I've done this with the cookie mix purely because I've been in cookie mix mode, and that's why it's a little bit lighter than it should be. So if I did it with a gingerbread house, it would be a bit darker, but no one's going to notice except me. It doesn't matter, it's fine. I don't mind. Not a problem. Right, okay. Let's get our royal icing in. And move my container back out of the way. Let's move these out so I've got a bit more space. Pop that there so I'm absolutely covered in it. My brand new dress is now completely covered in royal icing. That sounds about right in my life. Okay, so nozzle wise I'm going to use a PME 2. I'm also going to use the 43, I think, because the Wilton 18 is a little bit chunky. So PME 43, yes, I said that, PME 43 and a PME 2 or 3. Wilton 3 or 2 as well. Either of those is fine. Just a single writing nozzle. That's what you're looking for. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pipe. Let's go to the other camera for a second. There we go. I'm just going to pipe across the roof here to reinforce it. Just a shell pipe. Okay, you don't have to do this. You can just do blobs. Blobs is fine. But then I know that it's not going to collapse. Back onto the other camera. And then I'm going to just do the front of it as well. So I'm just going to come down the side here. Oops, a bit there, bubble. And just do a very basic line. This is just for reinforcement purposes, okay? And it covers all the nasty joins. And then we'll turn it round. And we'll do the same on the back. So it's just covering up this sort of horrible area that we don't want to look at. Like so. Okay, and then again, I'm just going to turn it down the side. I'm going to come down this join here with a little bit more piping. Across the side here. Again, just reinforcement. Everything about cake is very structure based, and that's what I teach a lot on my school. So I hear all these horror stories about cakes leaning, cakes falling over, all of that stuff. All can be avoided by using the right stuff and applying the right rules. And if you can do all of that, you're never going to have a problem. And the key to this is making sure you give it a bit of time and you use royal icing and you reinforce all the joins. And if you reinforce all the joins, it's not going to fall over. Nice and easy. Okay, and then we'll come down this side. And then we've been round absolutely everything and it's now going nowhere at all. I'm going to leave that there so you can see it, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to just pipe the roof. So I'm going to just unscrew that nozzle here. There are recipes for royal icing online. I do have a recipe which is correctly available for my school. So if you are a member of the cake school, it is in royal icing. But if you do go online, there are recipes for royal icing on there, so you will be able to find them. I think royal icing that you make yourself is much better than the stuff you buy. The stuff you buy is rubbish, quite honestly. I'm going to take my nozzle and I'm just going to pipe a really basic kind of loopy pattern going across here. Now, of course, I'm not putting any pressure on the gingerbread house, so I'm not going to be messing with the structure while I'm doing this. So I'm just going to, and again, you don't have to do this. If you want to do something else, that's entirely up to you. I'm just giving you some ideas about what you can do. Again, we'll just make sure where we join that from there. And I'm talking to myself as well. Okay, I can see that coming up. So come January, we're going to be doing a lot of royal icing on the school. We've got a lot of, particularly with the gold group, they've got their Facebook lives coming up. So if you want to join that, don't forget, nip over to the cake school and have a look at it. we're going to be doing piping, which they're going to love, whether they like it or not. No, I'm only kidding you. They're going to enjoy it. They are going to enjoy it. Okay, and then this side. So just do a bit of a... So if you wanted to stick, I don't know, chocolate buttons or something on here, or, you know, like those Cadbury's buttons or something, instead of doing this, you can. This is not sort of a compulsory element. This is just a decorating idea, because I don't want anyone to be thinking they have to do it like this. This is too hard for me. Well, put some snow on the roof then, and put some glitter on it. You know, you don't have to overthink this. Okay, so I've got a block in my nozzle, I can feel it. Right, let me just sort that out. I can feel the icing pressure building behind me. Let me sort this out. While I'm sorting that out, I'm going to have to stick these on because otherwise they'll fall off. So these are our little candy buttons. They are really small. They're very yummy, unfortunately, because I have had to test them multiple times. They're half the size of a well-known brand, so they are suitable for these little projects. So they are really tiny, and we do have little pots of them online, and you have to stick them down as you go. So if you try and do them when it's all you finish piping, they're not going to stick, so you must do it as you go. They're listed as candy buttons, I think, and they are really nice. They are chocolate. I can vouch for that. I know. It's so hard sometimes when you're just forced into these situations of having to test out your own products. But yeah, they're definitely chocolate. I can confirm that. And they're very nice chocolate as well. They're not horrible, you know, yucky chocolate. Nice chocolate. So I'll put some, so you can coordinate these, can't you? They're like lights, aren't they, on a house, I guess. Well, they look like lights, sort of lights I'd put up on my house anyway. Something sort of tacky and lovely. So I should put that one. I'm trying to coordinate them as best I can. I don't want to hear about it if I haven't got them in the wrong places. This is like under pressure decorating here. Let's put one over there. Not too bad. Okay, so you get the idea. Let me turn that round so you can have a look at that for a minute while I try and work out why this nozzle's being naughty. I'm just going to run some water through it because it's just being a pain. Right. Brush. But if you've got a nozzle that's not cooperating, don't put up with it. Just go and wash it out and put it back on and start again. I won't tolerate it for very long. Just not happening. Right. Calories don't count in December. That is correct. I like to fill this page with really true facts, you know, and that's one of them. Yes, no calories in December. And these are really nice. So again, you can see with kids as well, if you just wanted to stick a bit of a snow scene on top of it, they can just stick these on. All the sprinkles as well, like the Christmas tree sprinkle mix, the mix I was messing about with earlier, the frozen sprinkle mix, if you want to make, oh, what is the name of that place that Frozen? I can almost hear it in my mind. Someone will tell me in a minute, I'm sure. Right, there's one side. There we go. We're going to turn that round. I'm telling that nozzle, I'm not having none of that, I tell you. I'm in charge, not this piping bag. Right, then we're going to repeat the other side. I would say to the Royal Icers, just you remember who's in charge with this piping bag. It's not the Royal Icing, it's you. There we go. Hopefully you can still see it. I know the camera's going in and out a little bit, but it's still a pretty good view, I think. It's better than the overhead camera, which I knew would be very difficult for you to see today. I can't say this is my best moment of piping, but it's not bad. It'll do. It'll do for what we're doing anyway. So once you get going, you can get quite quick with these. There we go. And it's raining and horrid outside, so what better thing to do than to stay in and do a bit of cake decorating? I can't think of anything better myself, but you see, I do it all year round anyway. Get your paints out, get your cookies out, make some biscuits, get ready. I know that these schools are coming to an end now, so if you've got Christmas bazaars or teachers' presents, get cracking. I've given you enough ideas. I haven't got any ideas left, so you've had them all now. Well, no, you haven't quite. You know me, I've always got something up my sleeve. Right, let's go across the roof here now. Can't have a blue next to a blue because that won't work, will it? So we'll do this one here. It's going to have an orange, yellow. But yeah, these are really nice. I'm not going to sell you anything that doesn't taste very nice. Unfortunately, these do taste very nice because I've eaten them. Unless my mum asks, and then I haven't touched them. She's probably watching. Right, there we go. My dad would like these as well. Maybe I'll make him one for Christmas. Put that down. I've got a lot of blue ones. I keep picking up the blue ones here. Right, well, you're obviously all busy baking. It's my daughter's birthday tomorrow. I've already done her cake and she's already had it and she's been eating it. So I will post a picture tomorrow of what I did for her. I have to say, I've decorated her, well, she's 27 and she's had 27 birthday cakes. It's something that's not going to stop, I don't think. So this is her 27th birthday tomorrow. And I will post a picture of her cake up there tomorrow. She's had it already. We will see that tomorrow. If I put it up today, she'll tell me off because it's not her birthday today. You have to wait. I can't have a blue next to a blue. Right, it's a yellow. And then another yellow. And then a green. Okay, that works. And then, no. What colour do I need there? Pink. That's what I need. There we go. Right, let's have a little look at this so far. Okay, so bear in mind I'm doing this live, so I haven't done this in advance. The only thing I've done in advance is actually make the gingerbread pieces. Obviously I can't do those live because that would take absolutely forever. So there we go, that's the start of that. Right, so if you wanted to make a gingerbread house, that's what you would do. But I had this idea and I thought, you know what? The one thing people always talk about is their pets and all these other bits and pieces. So I am going to turn mine into a dog kennel. We're going to have a Christmas dog kennel. And I know that sounds really weird, but I'm telling you now, it's the most super cutest thing ever. And so that is what we're going to do. Now, I've already done one. I did a trial earlier and it worked brilliantly. So that's what we're doing. And I'm going to bring in some other cookie bits and pieces that you may recommend, or you may not recommend, you may remember. So we've got our little puppy there and we have got our bone. So those two there. So I'm going to change the camera angle for the moment while we just make those two little bits. I'm going to just switch over to this camera. There's our puppy and there's our bone. Now these come from the sets of the the bones and the puppy, it's called. So these are the dog sets that we were featuring back in September. They are on Let's Shop. So in case you're missing it and thinking, well, I don't know what she's talking about, that is where it is. And we're going to have a look at that now. So let me move this over here. Now we're going to take hold of, there's the cookie cutters. That makes a bit more sense, doesn't it? There we go. And we're going to get hold of a bit of white. I hope you're going to like this idea because I think this is a nice Christmas cake topper for all of those of you out there who just love your pets. Why not put a little dog in the kennel at Christmas on your cake? I think it's a really sweet idea. I like to include them in Christmas. Okay, so we're going to take hold of that, press it down, give it a little wiggle. Take that out. Okay, so if you didn't make the gingerbread house this Christmas and you wanted to make a little cake later in the year for someone who loves their pets, then this is for you because you'll be able to convert that into a dog kennel. and that's why I've done this like this. And you'll see as it comes together why I've done it. Okay, so I've made little bones, so that's part of our accessories. Now let's bring our puppy in. So on our website we have got lots of different dogs. We've got oh, I've got to think now what we've got. We've got German Shepherd, we've got a Cockapoo, we have got a puppy, we have got a Westie. There are different dogs on there. They're in sets of 2, large and small, that you can use to do this. Now I'm going to do this one as a different dog to the one I did before, so that we've got a bit of variety going on here. So I've got some brown, 2 shades of brown here, both made with the same brown food colouring, just one shade lighter than the other. And we'll start by rolling this out. And we'll pop, that's not quite wide enough, let's make it a little bit wider. I've got the smallest amount of brown here. I'm probably going to need a bit more as it is anyway, so maybe I need to, I'll tell you what, I'll make a bit more up. Then I've definitely got enough to complete the whole thing. Let's mix that in. Otherwise I'll be cursing myself in a minute. What are we doing? As long as that's different to that. Finding some Arundel. That's it. Arundel. Oh, I knew that was it. Do you know what? I could hear it, but I couldn't even think of the word. That's the name of the village in Frozen. You are right. You could put a cat in it as well. There's no reason why you couldn't put the cat out here. But when you see it all together, you'll kind of get it, I think. Well, I know you will, because it's so lovely when it all goes together. Right, even though that's a bit lighter, we'll go with this. Lighter brown is fine. And then what we'll do is we'll put that down there, put that on, press down. So I've made up a kit for this. I've called it Gingerbread Kennel or something like that. And in the kit I have included the gingerbread house cookie cutters, 1 puppy, 1 bone, and then the mould, which I'm going to show you in a minute. We haven't got to that bit yet. So that is all included in the kit, plus the little Smarties as well. So I have made a complete kit for anybody who has not got involved in this at all. But also I've separated everything for those of you that have already got some of the elements of this. I know some of you will have bought them, some of the dog cookie cutters, but if you want to buy the buttons or you want to buy the gingerbread house or whatever it is you want to buy, I have made that separate as well. Right, so there we go. We're going to remove that section there. On this dog, you don't have to do it on all the dogs, and you'll see my other one later and you'll see what I've done. Pop you down there. A little bit of icing to stick it down. And then we'll pop that on there. And then we'll pop that on there. Make sure I get it around the right way. There we go. We'll cut that middle bit out quickly so that it's not got a chance to settle. I know lots of you have got dogs, and I know lots of you will like this idea because this is a completely different cake topper. I have not seen anything like this for Christmas for doing a cake topper, and I just think it's a really interesting idea because it's different, and I'm all in for different stuff. Different but not silly different. This is different. So let's pop that on there. Pop that part on there. So we want the middle bit now, so we're going to press down again. I'm going to turn it over and we're going to press down. Okay, wait for that to come out, press that back, get his ear out. Don't want that bit as it is. There we go. Like so. Again, we're just going to cut that centre piece out. I didn't do this on the other dog. On the other dog, I literally just did 1 piece and that was it. But again, you'll see that in a minute. Take that. And the whole time I'm doing this, my gingerbread house is setting. So I'm not going to have to worry about it falling over or doing anything it shouldn't do. It's behaving itself, so that's all good. Okay. So you could get your houses up and then you could make your little puppies and bones and all these other bits and pieces. Yeah? Okay. So that's that bit. Right, now I'm going to remember what I did with the black. That's the black. So, again with this you could use the little eyes that we've had, I've been using all morning, the cookie eyes. we would need to bed them in with a little bit of royal icing, so obviously we don't want them to fall out. So I'll just put a little tiny blob sort of there and there, only a little bit. It's just a bit of glue. You can use sugar glue as well if you want. Because the royal icing is soft, I can push them right down into the dog's face. There we go. There we go, it's coming on all right. But I am going to have to make his nose. I'm going to put the lid back on sprinkles because they are, number one, going to fall over. Right, just move out the way. I'm just going to have to make a little nose with some black sugar paste. So I'm just going to roll that into a ball, pinch that into a triangle. Let's see how big. Oh, look at that, perfect. So just make that into a little triangle and we'll pop that on there. A little bit of glue again, just so it doesn't fall off. And we'll pop that down. Just going to use my cutting wheel just to flatten it off a little bit, just so I've got it in position. There we go. Okay. Now, what was I going to do? Right, let's paint a little bit of his face. Again, if you haven't got any paint, you can use an edible pen for this. So if you prefer to use an edible pen, that's a much better idea. If that's more you, there's no reason why you can't do that. But I've obviously got paint on the go, so I'm going to use my edible paint. So I'm going to bring that down here, like so, and I'm just going to give him a little smile. He's very happy in his gingerbread dog kennel. I mean, why wouldn't you be? There we go. And then we'll put a little bit of white in his eyes, just so he doesn't look like he's half asleep. A little spot there, a little spot there. Right. Now, let's do a little tongue on him, shall we? So a little bit of pink, a little tiny bit of pink. Don't need very much, a little bit. We'll just roll that and we'll just make that into a sort of tongue shape. And then I'll take hold of my scriber, which happens to be covered in royal icing at the moment. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, there we go. So take hold of that, and if I just press that down the centre there, okay. And then a little bit of icing. Got to be careful here because my paint's probably still wet. I'm jumping the gun a bit. If you've got any sort of reasonable sense, you won't do this at this point. You'll wait. Okay, and then we'll pop the tongue in place like that. So he's got his tongue stuck out there. There we go. So we've done that bit. And then we're going to just make his legs, because obviously we're going to be able to see his legs when he's sat out the front of the kennel. And we're going to just take hold of some of this brown and we'll just make it really easy. So we'll just roll out sort of a sausage shape. Don't want it to be too sort of thick, I guess, and just cut that in half. And then we'll mark his legs on when we get them into the kennel. But we're going to leave that for the moment and just pop that to one side. In fact, what I will do before I write this all off completely is I was going to put on this bone, because obviously if you've got a dog and it's got a name, because most of them do have names, that would be the theory, you can then write a name on here. Now I've written another name on this other one, so I've got to think of a new dog name very quickly. And one that's not too long. Honestly, you say a dog name and I always think of like Rover and things like that. Let's go for, he looks like a Jack. Let's go for a Jack maybe. Does that sound okay? Let's put Jack on here. So this is his little house. So we're going to write Jack on here. But again, if you've got an edible pen and you'd rather do it with that, that's fine. But I'm just going to do it with my paint because that's what I've got here. I don't know, do people call their dogs Jack? I have no idea. I am a cat person. And when your cat is called Norman, it's not exactly, I wouldn't say I'm the best person for naming animals, but there we go. We'll assume that the dog is called Jack, because the other one I've done is called Maisie, and Jack and Maisie sounds quite a nice couple, doesn't it? So we'll go with that. There we go. Right. A little bit more. There we we go. So I've just written his name on the bone because I thought that was quite cool and he could have that in front of his dog kennel. So that's that bit done. So we've done the dog, we've done the paws, we have finished him. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just do, I thought, well, if it was Christmas, so let's assume you're making this at Christmas, I think you need a wreath on that kennel myself, personally. So I have used this. Now, this is not a new piece of equipment. Some of you probably have already got it. And this is from, it's called Small Assorted Christmas Pieces. And I normally use it for chocolate. So lots of you will recognise it from last year. So there's a wreath, a little snowman, there is a Father Christmas, there's a boot. There's also a little Christmas tree and some bells. They're really good if you do like an advent type thing. So if you wanted to make like your own advent calendar, you would make these out of chocolate and pop them in little envelopes, and they're great because they're just bite-sized pieces. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36 pieces on one of these. So it's quite a big mould. But what I've done is I just used this wreath here because I thought, well, if he's sitting in a dog kennel, and it's Christmas, he ought to have a wreath really. So, but what I'm going to have to do is just mix up a tiny bit of green because I am out of green. Now you can use sugar paste in moulds. You just have to be careful. And what I mean by being careful is that you just need to use some icing sugar to get the moulds out, because obviously they don't have the flexibility of a silicone mould. With a silicone mould, you can easily get the little pieces out, but this isn't going to bend. You can of course make it in chocolate, it's just I chose not to. I chose to do this in sugar paste so that you could see a different way, and that's the key to this really, is I want to show you that the stuff that we sell can be repurposed and used in lots and lots of different ways. And this is a mould that we've had for a couple of years, so some of you will already have it. And what I've done is I have just used a bit of sugar paste. So sugar paste or modelling paste is probably better. Modelling paste isn't quite so sticky. Let me just move Jack over there. Now he's got a name. We'll put a little bit of icing sugar down and we'll just take this little piece here. Now it's probably the right size. So I'm just going to roll it into a ball, and then I'm just going to roll it in my icing sugar so it doesn't stick. Okay, and I just want a basic shape, so I'm going to just then push it into the mould like so, just so it picks up, and then I'm very carefully going to just bend that back, and I have then got a little wreath. Now, these are not the most highly detailed of moulds, but there is enough on there for you to know exactly what it is, because we're going to just add a little bit of paint to it now, just so you can see exactly what it's doing. I'm just going to press that down just a tiny bit harder, just so we get a bit more detail out of it. But if you want to get them out, you can also do that. Don't make life complicated. Everybody overthinks everything. It just makes life so complicated. It's unbelievable. You don't need to do that. Right, then all I'm going to do, very simply, because we don't want to make it too complicated, do we? Is I'm going to take hold of a paintbrush. Let me just grab this one. Just clean it up for a second. And I'm going to paint with some cocoa butter. Again, I'll just bring that in so you can see it. There it is. I'm just going to paint with some bright gold. So this is bright gold Wonder Dust, and on here there is a little bow. So I'm just going to paint my little bow at the top there, like so. And you can paint down the side of it as well, just in case you want to make sure it's all hidden. So just pick it up, paint down the side as well. There we go. All right, so that's the top of my wreath. And I'll clean my brush up. Now, my sort of cookie gingerbread house is kind of like a sort of soft brown colour. So I'm going to just paint the centre of this, because then it will look like it's looking right through to the centre of the house itself. So we won't actually sort of realise that that hasn't actually got a hole in it. So we'll paint that in. And then it looks a bit more like a wreath, you see. All right, I will hold this up at the end because it can be a tiny bit tricky to see. And then we're going for the dotting tool. So we're going to use red and white, and we're going to sort of kind of replicate a sort of berries, mistletoe type look, I guess. That's what we're going for anyway. I'm just mixing up a little bit of paint for the red. So we've got some here, which we now have. Right, dotting tools. Have we got one bigger than this one? That's what I need to know. So I've got one, but I could do with one that's a little bit bigger. Let's see. If not, we'll use this one and we'll make it work. Right, okay, we'll use this one. So you've got the small ends there, and I'm just going to literally dip it in the paint and, oh no, that's perfect actually. And we're just going to set them up in sort of bunches of 3. Because it's on a green background. This is like your wreath decorating part of your construction. Who can resist it? Who can resist doing these wreaths? Okay. So we'll do, and another one there. As I say, these are chocolate, so normally, so if you want to make them out of chocolate, you can. It's just I was trying to show you can do it in sugar paste as well, so I'm just cutting a corner here really. Okay, so we've got that going on. I know it's very tiny, but I will turn it over, pick it up in a second and show you what it looks like. I'm just going to put some little white, I haven't got white all over it, spots amongst this. Tiny, tiny. It's the smallest thing I've got to do today, so we're allowed to have one tiny thing. And then what I'll do as well is I'll just put a little tiny spot on some of the red to pick that up as well. And I will pick this up and I will show you what it looks like so you can see it, which I will do now. Okay, so there you go. So that's the little tiny wreath that I've made. So I've painted the bow gold, and then I've just used my dotting tool and I've used a bit of red and a bit of white just to make it look like a bit sort of holly and mistletoe. Obviously, if you want the wreath to be darker, then just do a darker green sugar paste from the word go, so you can sort of change it like that. And then I've painted the middle to look the same colour as my gingerbread house, so it looks like you're seeing through it. All right, rather than cutting the middle out. I'm not doing that, it takes too long. Too much faff. Definitely not. Right, okay, let's bring this back in again. So I'm going to turn the camera in a second. Let's see if we can get this thing assembled. Right, we're close to getting it all done. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my wreath on again. You could do this in advance. You could do this while the gingerbread house is setting. So you don't need to do it quite like I'm doing it at the last minute. You have to put it on without squashing it. There we go. Just hold it in place for a second. It shouldn't go sliding down. It should be absolutely fine. And then we're going to put his legs in place. So let's put down some more icing. See, this is nearly dry. Be amazed how quickly this stuff dries. So we'll put a little bit down one leg and we'll pop that there. And then, is this leg the same as this leg? Maybe a tiny bit longer. Got one leg longer than the other, Jack. All right, little bit of icing down there, and we'll pop that leg in there, like so. Now I'm just going to push him back a little bit, and I'm going to just take hold of my cutting wheel, and I'm just going to mark some sort of lines on the front that are like paws, so that they don't just look like, I don't know, sausages I've stuck on here. So we're going to make some paw marks, just three on each foot. Press them in. There you go, that's better. They definitely look like paw marks now, that's good. Right, okay, now we're going to get the dog and we're going to put some icing behind him, like so. Just around, it doesn't really matter, to be perfectly honest. And then we're going to pop him on there, like that. Your tongue's gone a bit wonky. Let's turn that round a bit. There we go, that's better. I think you can see him just about. There he is. I'll hold him up a little bit so you can see him in a second. There we are. And then we're going to get your bone while we've got it. And we're just going to put that little little bit of icing on there. We'll pop that next to you there, so you've got that ready in case you need anything. You've got a snack going on. And then I'm just going to take my icing and I'm just going to pipe some sort of icicles coming down the front here, if I can get my bag to work, because it's being a bit of a pain. I can feel it being just wonderful and alive. Oh dear. So it's completely edible. I'm just reading that question about, do you make them to decorate or eat? So this is completely edible. So it's treated exactly the same way as you would treat a gingerbread house. So you have, I don't know, a couple of weeks to eat it, maybe, something like that. All right. And there we have it. That is my Christmas dog kennel, which I'm very bravely going to pick up now and turn and show you. There you go. Because I'm now happy that my structure is not going to collapse. There you go. There's Jack in his little kennel. So again, I've repurposed the gingerbread house, shown you a different way, shown you that you can turn it into a dog kennel. I think it does make a difference. It is something else. It's something else to think about, because it's nice to have all these cutters, but it is a good idea to be able to repurpose them as well. I'm going to show you the other one I did in a second so that you've got another idea of what it looks like with a dog. It isn't complicated. It's a really easy idea to do. And again, you can customize this obviously, because we've all got different dogs, so you can obviously do whichever dog you want. We have got a number of cutters on the site that you can use that for. I'm going to put that down for a second, and I'm going to bring in the other one that I've made, which I will put a picture up soon after the live. And this is Maisie and Jack. Here we go, there's Maisie. That was the trial one. There we go, there's Maisie in her dog, another cockapoo, of course. So there we go. So that's the one I did on the trial. Now I have filmed this one, so this one will be available as a video shortly. I will do it this afternoon and it will be available as a TikTok, so it's nice and quick and you'll be able to see how to do this kennel in under a minute. It acts as a reminder as well. But we've got all the bits that you need to be able to do it. So you've got your dog cookie cutter and your bone and your mould and the sweets and the gingerbread house cookie cutter all in the same kit. If you have aspects of the kit, you can buy bits and pieces separately, or a different dog, depending on what it is that you want. I have just put in the puppy. I haven't put in any other dogs, and I can't swap any other dogs out either, I'm afraid, because those are the dogs that we've had made. So I'm afraid you can't just go, oh, I love it, but can I have a Westie? The answer will be no. You would need to buy the Westie cutters separately, but there we go. So that's it. So that's my converted gingerbread house, which I'm very happy with. I think it's something a little bit different, and I hope that you've had some benefit this morning being able to learn how to use these cookie cutters a little bit different. We won't look at this mess over here because this is just normal carnage for me. In fact, actually that's not too bad for me. It's normally worse than that. So let's come onto the main screen and I'll pick actually Maisie up, because Maisie is 100% set and I know it's not going to suddenly fall over on me. So there she is. There's Maisie. Let's turn her there. There you go. So she's very sweet. So it'd be a really nice Christmas cake topper. I think this is very different. And I think if you presented that to somebody, all you need to do is build a gingerbread house and make a dog. It's not difficult. And then you've got your cake with a bit of snow scene all over it. Put that on top. I tell you what, somebody who's got a dog who worships their dog, and all dog owners worship their dogs, would love this. Absolutely love it. And there's no reason as well why you couldn't even put a little window inside if you've got two dogs and have another dog here. So there are lots and lots of different things you can do to include other dogs. You can put more bones, you can make it bigger. There's so many things that you can do with this, but I hope that you will think that this is a good idea, because I do. I think it's a very good idea, and I'm very happy with my dog kennel. It's taken me a bit of a while to get round to doing it because I've been so busy with everything else. Obviously we've been extremely busy painting Harry Potter on lives and things as well, so lots of you will have seen the Harry Potter stuff as well. I'm just going to move that camera out of the way so I don't fall over it. And all the Harry Potter cookie cutters are in. We did Hogwarts last week. Kelly's done 9 3/4, which again I did put up as a post. and we've also done the Hogwarts crest as well. Now we're going to continue with these lives on painting next year, but they are going to move to a slightly different place. They're going to be moving to another Facebook page of mine, which is called at Tracey Mann Cake School. So you will need to join that school site on Instagram or Facebook, and those lives will be taking place on there. So we're moving things around a little bit next year, so you'll see some things appearing in different places. So Tuesday night will be a recap, so there will be some other ideas that I have already been going through. So lots of you have already seen a lot today. I've gone through an awful lot of things today, but Tuesday evening will be a massive recap. It will be the snow globes, it will be a cupcake, it will be anything to do with Christmas, it will be the Santa letters, it will be everything, so that you can get well, it won't be everything, but it will be a good chunk so that you can get an idea. And that live will take place on this page here, which is at Tracey Mann Cakes. It will not take place here. Once the event post goes up, don't forget to click going or interested. By clicking going or interested, you will then get a reminder, and that reminder will then mean that you don't miss the live, because lots of people go, oh, I didn't realise it was on. Facebook will notify you, up will come a thing going, Tracey Mann's going to be live at 10 o'clock. That's all it does. So it helps you, all right, so you don't miss anything. So on today's live, so we started off with the lovely Cake School, my favourite place at the moment. So we started off with the Cake School this morning. We have got a new class coming out on the 15th of December, which is our party cat, all ready for New Year, everybody. Again, so it's been a bit animal based today, isn't it? So this one here is suitable for, I say, New Year's Eve. Get your cat involved, make yourself a cat, customise your cat. So that cake class is coming out on the 15th of December. And on the 8th of December, we have another royalised cake class coming out as well. That one is suitable for people who've already done some royal icing. So if that's you, then you're going to love it. If it's not you, then it's going to be, you need to do the royal icing course to help you first, just to do your straight lines and things. Then you'll be up and running and you'll love it. Royal icing, very addictive. Don't tell me I didn't tell you that. Right, we talked a bit about membership. We've had people asking about classes, what can we buy for Christmas? I've had a few people saying that as well. So if you want to buy things for Christmas for the Cake School, there are gift vouchers on there, or you can buy a class for somebody. If you tell me, I won't enrol them until the last minute before Christmas, and then obviously an email will go to them, so they will know then. But you can also buy gift vouchers as well. So gift vouchers, buying classes, beginners cocoa butter painting challenge in the new year is always a really, really busy class. So if you want to do that, that will be available for you as well. We do have gift vouchers on Let's Shop Cake Live as well, which you will be able to redeem next year. So if you are or against anything actually on my website but not classes, we have 2 different sets of gift vouchers. Make sure you get the right ones, very important, otherwise you might end up in the wrong place. So Let's Shop Cake Live, there are videos, there are vouchers on there. If you scroll through, you will see them. So today we have covered the mittens. We've been through the mittens. We have done the envelopes with the new toppers on them. For those of you that just want to literally write a word, we have that covered, and they are gingerbread themed because that's what we've been doing today. We've made the carrot, so we've made Kevin the carrot ready for the reindeer to eat, which we'll perhaps skim over, but we've made the carrot. So the large carrot cookie cutter is available. It's been there all the time. It just normally comes out at Easter with the rabbit. It's just that I saw it yesterday and went, why haven't we done the carrot? That's ridiculous. So that's why the carrot's been brought out today. So that's available as well. And then I piped a Christmas tree, so you can see how to do that and use your sprinkles that you've got, your Christmas tree sprinkles, your frozen blue sprinkles and the pink Christmas tree sprinkle mix, and just design your own Christmas trees. I had to think of the word then. I looked down and saw penguin. Design your own penguin. What am I talking about? You can design your own penguin because you can put his own party hat on. So there is the penguin cookie cutter as well, and that is out as well. It's a nice little size. It's a little bit bigger than for a cupcake, but it does sit really nicely round a cake. So if you wanted to do that, and I believe if I remember rightly, there possibly is a YouTube video on it as well, over on my YouTube channel. Again, don't forget to subscribe over there, then you won't miss anything, because again, YouTube will notify you when I go live. And of course, we have finished today with the gingerbread dog houses. I'm going to pick up this one now, which is the one I've just done. There's Jack. Jack and Maisie, they've got their own house today, and I will take photos of these so that you can see them. I think I've given extremely clear instructions about how to build these houses. They are not difficult to build. You need royal icing and you need some time. You need to make sure you don't make it and then walk down the road with it and expect it to still be there in one piece. This will be staying here now overnight until tomorrow morning, and then we'll start moving it around. But I am going to take a photograph of it shortly, and I will also post a picture of Maisie up on there because I've already done that. She's ready, so you'll see a picture of her appear shortly, so you can see how to do the gingerbread house plus the video. So I've been super busy. We are coming towards the end of our lives now before Christmas. We've got one more to go, which will be next week. Potentially it will be Friday night, but I will let you know. And again, I will put up a post. And if you see that post up there, you remember to click going or interested, because Facebook will then remind you. But I just need to sort my week out, because sometimes I look at my week and go, what am I doing? And I haven't got that far yet. And even though it's Sunday, and I possibly should have, then I need to do that. But I plan to be back live on Tuesday at Tracey Mann Cakes, recapping some of the cookie stuff, not all of it because I haven't got time to do all of it, but some of the stuff that we've made on Let's Shop over the last few weeks. So there is still time to post stuff out. We are only on the 3rd of December, but you will need to be quick now because things are obviously galloping towards Christmas. You have all the time in the world to get every gift voucher that you want, including the ones from me, because we can email those to you. So they are literally print off and you have your gift voucher there ready. And we meet a lot of husbands as we get, and partners as we get towards that side of Christmas, because they always leave it till the last minute. But the links are available if you do wish to send them to them. I will sort them out for you, and make sure you actually get something you want for Christmas, which would be very nice, wouldn't it? So thank you very much for everybody joining me today. I know it's Sunday, I know it's a different day and it's not Saturday, so I am really grateful if you have tuned in today rather than on Saturday. So thank you very much. And as I say, we'll be back shortly and letting you know when the next live will be. So enjoy making all of these lovely things that we've come up with for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any dog kennels and how many dogs there will actually be in these kennels. It should be really interesting. But enjoy. Have a lovely day. The weather here isn't particularly great, so I'm going back home now to sit and do a few more things on my computer. And then I shall be watching television this afternoon, I think, putting my feet up for a bit. So have a lovely day, everyone.